However, Speaker Johnson has been a massive roadblock to getting anything done. His members aren't even here doing their jobs. They've been home for weeks. He's not serious and he doesn't give a damn. Instead of doing his job, he's spreading lies, typical Johnson MO, to distract from his total incompetence to get a deal. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. And I'm proud to be joined by Senators Murray, Klobuchar, and Kim. So, here we are. We're a week into a government shutdown, and still Republicans are not taking this seriously. Instead of rolling up their sleeves, working with Democrats, and delivering for American families, yesterday we voted for the 5th time on their failed Republican CR. Senate Republicans are trying to run the same failed play and expecting a different result. And the House, even worse. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers are furloughed. Thousands more are working without pay. And meanwhile, House Republicans are getting paid and not working. So federal workers working and not getting paid, House Republicans paid and not working. Very bad thing for them, very bad picture for them, very bad action for them. And now the Republicans are beginning to flip-flop. They're realizing the power of the health care argument from one end of America to the other. Just last week, House GOP conference chair Lisa McClain, and a member of the leadership, said not to make the message about health care benefits because ours lose that argument. Then yesterday, Speaker Johnson couldn't even look directly into the camera, saying his party is the party working to fix health care. A week or two ago, he didn't want to talk about it. Now he finds he has to talk about it, forced by the American people because they care so much about the issue. That's right, he said Republicans, the party that ripped health care away from millions of Americans to pay for tax cuts for the rich, the party that right now is refusing to actually address the health care crisis they created, refusing to extend the ACA tax credits, are now forced to talk about the very thing they were afraid to talk about, health care costs. And why? They know they're wrong. They know they're on the wrong side of the American people. Our position, Democrats' position, has been totally consistent. It hasn't changed. We want what an overwhelming majority of Americans want: to end this shutdown and address the health care crisis that will send premiums soaring for millions. 80% of Americans want to extend the ACA tax cuts. Amazing. Even more amazing, 58% of Trump voters want to extend the ACA tax cuts. We can and must do both. It's not an either or. End the shutdown and protect Americans' health care. It's not a choice. Republicans don't have to make it one. After weeks of asking Trump and Republican leaders to negotiate, yesterday Trump told reporters he's already talking to Democrats. Well, that's not true. But Leader Jeffries and I are happy to make it true. Democrats remain ready to seriously negotiate with Republicans to address the health care crisis and get out of the Republican shutdown. But we need everyone at the table: Hakeem and I, President Trump, Leader Thune, and of course Speaker Johnson. However, Speaker Johnson has been a massive roadblock to getting anything done. His members aren't even here doing their jobs. They've been home for weeks. He's not serious and he doesn't give a damn. Instead of doing his job, he's spreading lies, typical Johnson MO, to distract from his total incompetence to get a deal. Let's be clear. Democrats are fighting to protect Americans' health insurance. We're not pushing to give health insurance to undocumented immigrants. That's a lie. It's been proven to be a lie over and over again, but he doesn't care. He just keeps restating the lie because he's so afraid of the truth. Republicans' big old ugly bill will kick millions of American citizens off health care and drive costs through the roof. They know they're on the wrong side of this. More than 80% of Americans agree with Democrats to extend the tax credits. And Johnson is in a pickle. Why doesn't he want to vote on this? Because there are probably half of his caucus that don't want to vote on anything for health care, but there's another 50 to 80 members of his caucus that see the handwriting on the wall and want to vote for extending the credits. So he'd rather not have a vote, and that's why he's had his partisan strategy of sending us a bill and going home, but it ain't working. It ain't working. It's past time for us to work together, okay? It's past time to get it done. And Johnson instead is deceiving, ducking, and denying the reality. It's past time, though, for him, Thune, Trump, to stop the political games, work with Americans to protect health care, and end the Trump Republican shutdown.
During a press conference on Tuesday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat, New York, spoke about the congressional recess amid the government shutdown. He was joined by Senators Patty Murray, Amy Klobuchar, and Tammy Duckworth. Schumer said the country had already been a week into the shutdown, yet Republicans were still refusing to take meaningful steps to resolve it. He criticized GOP lawmakers for repeatedly bringing up the same failed continuing resolution for a vote, noting that it had already failed 5 times. He pointed out the contrast between federal employees, many of whom are either furloughed or working without pay, and members of Congress, who continue to receive their salaries despite the inaction. Federal workers are working without pay, while House Republicans are getting paid and not working, he remarked, describing it as a very bad picture for them. Schumer also turned attention to health care, saying Republicans were being forced to confront an issue they had long avoided. He recalled how GOP leaders previously advised their members not to make health care part of their message because it was a losing issue. Yet, in his words, even Speaker Mike Johnson has now felt pressured to address it. Schumer criticized Republicans for trying to present themselves as defenders of health care despite past efforts to roll back coverage and benefits. He said Democrats' position had been consistent, to end the shutdown while also protecting Americans from rising health care costs. He cited polling that showed 80% of Americans, including nearly 60% of Trump voters, supported extending Affordable Care Act tax credits. It's not either or, Schumer argued. We can and must do both. Schumer accused Johnson of being a major roadblock in negotiations, claiming he has chosen to spread misinformation rather than work toward a deal. He rejected Republican claims that Democrats wanted to extend health benefits to undocumented immigrants, calling it a lie repeatedly debunked. Instead, he said the Republican approach would take coverage away from millions of citizens and drive up premiums. According to Schumer, Johnson's resistance stems from divisions within his own party. While many Republicans remain opposed to voting on health care, others in the caucus are ready to extend the tax credits, putting Johnson in a difficult position. Schumer accused him of dodging accountability by sending a partisan bill and leaving town. He urged Johnson, along with former President Trump and other GOP leaders, to stop playing political games. Schumer said Democrats remain ready to negotiate in good faith to reopen the government and protect health care, but they need all parties at the table. It's past time to get it done, he said, warning that Americans are the ones paying the price while Republicans, in his view, continue to delay.